All right, first, needs to change himself versus life. Game 3, seconds away from starting now. We're about to jump into this. Are we going to see a 3-0? Or can first somehow make a comeback? Let's jump into game number 3. It's going to be Overgrowth. Let's find out.
And here we go.
I love your accent.
In the bottom left, from TSM, we have the red Protoss first.
And his opponent, a 7-time Starcraft 2 champion, the reigning world champion of BlizzCon, playing for StarTale as the blue Zerg to the top right-hand side. It's live.
Currently has no toothbrush.
He has no toothbrush. Moonglade has his toothbrush. He's going to be putting it on eBay later today.
Actually, now that's an idea. I can make some money.
You can make some bank.
I could get some good money from that, I'm sure. World champion of StarCraft, that's nothing to be laughed at.
That is a seriously famous toothbrush you have.
Yeah.
That is more famous than an Artosis toothbrush and a Tasteless toothbrush together.
Tasteless, they share the toothbrush.
They share it.
It's still not enough.
It's still not enough.
But here we go. The build has been chosen by Life and by First. Life up 2 games here, so why not go for another hatch first? Why not? I mean, you might as well.
Why not?
Seriously.
Seriously.
My voice is getting squeaky, it appears.
It's because you're having so much fun casting DreamHack here.
I'm having the greatest time ever, Apollo. I love these events, and I love life. I just love it. You do. I love my life and life. But here we go.
I love life too.
Oh, I know you do. It's going to be Gateway Expand here. So, you know, First keeping it pretty safe. He knows that Life can go for those really fast pulls. And this map is not bad for it because it is a 2-player map. Not a very long rush distance here. And we also see First faking out a pylon. He will cancel it the last second, and Life only commits a few drones to it, so not too much of a loss there either.
Yeah, a bit of a trickery there. The reason why he did that, for someone who may not understand, is there. I mean, when a Zerg play goes hatchery first, like Life did in this game, we do sometimes see a Protoss open up forward first and could cannon rush it. So he did threaten that, and of course, if he was to be cannon rushed, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble on that expansion. But it was a fake out because, of course, he has the gateway down, he has the Nexus down, and he did manage to pull just a couple of probes down, just slight, technically harassment there from First.
Nice little bit of harassment there. Not really doing much. Life didn't commit too much to it either. Only a few drones, which isn't even enough to really fight off a real one. So Life was just, you know, being a little bit safe there.
All right,
and
well,
Zealot on the way as well, nice and early.
Yeah, nice and early Zealot here. And we'll see if he's going to move out with that or just put it a part of the meant-to-be wall as he had in the previous game. But we are going to see the probe chased and killed.
Ooh, a bit of a mistake there. Yeah. Nicely done from Life. Already taking map control here. And with that Zealot first, Zerglings can run by and get a nice idea of what's in the main base there. He can scout the 2 gases, but we'll have to wait and see what First has planned. Looks like First will have a hard time putting down any tech while these Zerglings run in. He'll have to wait for the Stalker to deal with them before he can really commit to anything.
One Zergling to the main base, the other to harass the natural mineral line here. He's having a look around. He hasn't managed to kill a probe down there yet. He's going to escape with one of them. He's going to lose the other. And found no tech structure as it's now slapped down as soon as the Zergling is dead. And it is Stargate.
Will be a Stargate. Most likely going to be for those Oracles. It was a little bit delayed thanks to that Zergling scout though. So a little bit of indirect delay there from Life. He doesn't know for sure.
Life's got another Zergling that he's going to not get in the main base. He's
he can kill this probe, and he will! He gets through! No!
No!
Life! You're finding a way once again. I think if he waits long enough... Oh, wait, there's a Stalker. No, dead. But, you know, he got a probe for a damaged Zergling, so that's a Life trade right there.
Exactly what it is, Moonglade.
Oh, it's going to be Phoenix this time. Okay. So it looks like he will be going for, you know, not as much of a commitment to harassment there, and a little bit harder to hold the 3rd base with Phoenix compared to Oracles early on at the very least. Oracle's so good at dealing with Zerglings.
Life playing very safe at this point. 3 Spore Crawlers in each mineral line if there was to be any Stargate play. Remember, he hasn't scouted it. He's building a Roach Warren as well in case there was, you know, a gateway attack too. So overall, very, very safe here. Just kind of shows his confidence here against First, willing to sacrifice drones, sacrifice workers to be able to make sure he is safe here. And pretty good harassment here by First. Actually picks up 1 or 2 drones there with these 2 Stalkers, but there are a lot of units on the way, and he doesn't want to lose these.
No, it'd be so very bad if he ended up losing these Stalkers here. So he should get out. And I mean, speed is still a long way from these Zerglings, so should be nice and safe to get back to the natural. And we see 5 roaches on the way as well, but only 5 roaches. They are safety roaches. We see that Evo go down. 2 Evos go down. We'll have to wait and see if they're going to be for the Zerglings or we're going to see these range attack upgrade. Give us an idea. Almost actually killed the Stalker as well, which is a bit of a surprise, considering they are slowlings. And, oh, 1 more hit would have done it.
Yeah, nice control there by First.
This is kind of a bit of a more old skill kind of build from First. He's getting the +1 with these Phoenix. But we see new pylons on the map, so I don't think it's going to be like that Phoenix Zealot sort of pressure. It might be just from for a third base there. Just going to take map control with the Phoenix, be able to lift up anything and tear it apart while he goes for that Colossi. And we do see that Robo go down. So yeah, we know exactly what's going on.
Slowed down pace game here from First. Definitely needs to slow down the pace after game 1 and game 2 here. Just completely didn't go his way. But maybe game 3. Live here pushing out with his roaches, and he's having a look at what his opponent's really got. He sees the 4 Phoenixes, the 4 Sentries, 2 Stalkers, and 2 Zealots. And at this point, he's added on 3 additional Queens. And he's got his double upgrades going. He's got a fantastic worker line, 70 drones off the back of those very few defensive units.
Yeah, he has already 6 gases going too, which is pretty amazing. He did get a perfect scout off of the composition, so he's probably thinking exactly what we see here. He's like, okay, it's Phoenix into Colossi, the most standard of standards, is something we used to see a lot more until we saw more Oracle builds. And yeah, I'm sure he's expecting that third base to be down by now. And we'll have to wait and see if we're going to see Life go for maybe a Hydra timing with that 1-1, or just a simple Roach Ling timing. Either way, it can do a lot of work here. It is a pretty delayed lair at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I think it was a little bit late there. I think he forgot it for a second.
I'm kind of getting that impression, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just like committed a lot. No, I mean, looking at his bag, yeah, he definitely forgot it. Something we didn't mention.
Well, First at this point, it's sat, you know, nicely. He's not dead yet, Moonglade.
Not dead yet. He's actually in a pretty good position at this point. He just has to hold on to whatever life throws at him.
Yeah, which we're a little bit unsure of yet until this layer finishes up, if we are going to see that Hydralisk Den go down. But he can immediately go into 2-2 here with his 1-1 about to complete. Quite a few Zerglings here just having a run around. Not really able to find anything substantial here. Maybe 1 or 2 pros, but he's going to try to get into the... Oh, no, he didn't put the force field down. He had the sentry there, but the Zerglings get into the main base. Oh, no, First. He's got a weakness once again in his defense.
He does. Life has found another way into the main base. Has to pull the probes here, so some critical economic damage at this point in the game. But at the same time, we do see that Warp Prism dropping off units into the main base of Life as well.
Yeah, he's getting a bit of damage done because all the units are on the other side of the map. The Queens in mass come to defend this. One of them does go down, but as much as First pulled his probes off the mineral line, likewise Life have to do here. But Life has got his 2 upgrades on the way. Warp Prism picks up the Zealots and then backs off, as well as these Phoenixes still harassing on the other side of the map. But 2-2 down, Infestation Pit and Spire. Where's he going? Is he just going straight into Tier 3 here? I mean, we could see Viper timing with this kind of, like, some serious upgrades here. But same time, we already see First move across the map here. Life's going to get a kind of a late notice of this as well. He doesn't really have anything on the Zelnaga Watchtower. Just simply going for a counterattack at this point. Yeah, and Life, if he loses his 4th base to these small set of units here, there is the Mothership Core trailing behind. So if he's able to force field off, pick it off, and then recall out, Queens are coming down to help defend with a lot of Roaches on the way too. First's force is very small at this point. He's got to be very careful. Queens come in, but they get picked up immediately by these Phoenixes. And here comes the Mothership Core, but there is about 30 Roaches on the way here, Moonglade. Yeah, there are, and there should be more than enough to defend this. With the Queens absorbing everything and having enough transfusers to take all the damage, 1 Colossus is just not enough. It was, the Warp Prism dropped off those Zealots in the main base, and it was a bit of a distraction, but First does not find way to that 4th, and he has to back off. He does not have a substantial army to be able to take any huge fights there. He looked for an easy pick-off of the 4th base. It was denied, and he must return home. Yep, 2nd Colossi added in a lot more Stalkers here, so it looks like First is going to continue to push the issue. Blink researching now as well as +2. Colossus range almost finished as well, and you know, it's a good composition against what we see from Life at the moment.
Life is going to have to get like a really good position, really good concave to kind of deal with this kind of army until he has either Swarm Hosts or the Corruptors that he's building right now.
Yeah, and he's adding on 10 Corruptors. They will deal with these Phoenixes and Colossus very easily, as Moonglade says. They are on the way here. If he was able to snipe the Mothership Core as well and then surround with everything else, because he is building a lot of Roaches in support, and they do have those 2-2 upgrades, remember. They're just about to complete. First, if he is overly active with his army, he could lose everything. He's got to be very careful.
He has to be very careful, but still, that's a pretty nice little army. It has enough force field to kind of defend against him near a ramp here. And there we go. Nice 5 force fields go down, as well as Time Warp. I think Life should be retreating at this point, waiting for those force fields to disappear before he commits again. But enough Corruptors takes down the first Colossus, or almost at this point.
Just a single hit point at the back there. The Corruptors coming in, but the Phoenixes come to support here. Are there enough Stalkers here to continue the assault? Life lost a lot there.
He did.
He was headbutting those force fields, and I think you said it wisely. He should have probably backed off against those force fields and then gone in again.
So only a 10 supply lead at this point for Life. You know, not the best, not what we were expecting. A bit of a mistake there, committing to that force field attack. And I think he lost a lot of Corruptors as well to that, and not really taking out. I don't think he took out any Colossi. Look at that 1 HP Colossus. It's ridiculous.
Well, Life is being split once again here. Warp Prism to the natural. Main army to this left-hand side, and a lot of loose units here for Life are being picked up. He's built quite a few Swarmos behind this, so he is making a bit of a switch up with his army. And Swarmos are going to be very good if you can get them in position and get them working behind the main front of his army, but First has a lot of Stalkers here.
He has a lot. He can actually bulldoze through a lot of Swarm Hosts here. Nice blink in. There's not really much to do DPS against these Stalkers, and the force field's kind of zoning out the Zerglings and Locusts. And he's just targeting down all the Corruptors at this point.
Swarmos doing a lot of damage though. These Locusts really close to these Stalkers, dealing out huge amounts. These Corruptors are taking out the Phoenixes, and they will start to work on the Colossus. One of them goes down, the other shields. Once the shields go down, that is paperweight. And the Corruptors take that down easily. And like 40 supply difference between these two.
The Locusts are actually starting to do a lot of work against this composition. There's not enough Colossi to just wipe them out before too much damage is done. There's no sentries, there's no zealots, it's just Stalkers taking all these hits. I think First has to turn around, and it looks like he already is. Oh, big mistake there.
Yeah.
Trying to focus down Corruptors, but you cannot tank Locusts like that. It just simply does too much damage.
Yeah, with these 2-2 upgrades, which Life had been working on from the very early stages, doing huge amounts of damage. And now we've got to see a major switch up here. We have to. I mean, currently he's only on one robotics facility. Replacing Colossus is going to be very difficult for him to do. He's only on Blink Stalkers. Granted, +3 attack is on the way, but so is +3 for the Locusts and the Roaches.
That is very, very true. And I mean, look at the creep spread, which is going to be a bit of a problem once Life has finally defeated this kind of pushing from First here. First going from both angles. A lot of Zealots in the fourth base, as well as these Stalkers fighting against Locusts at this point. They will pull back. It was all to kind of give these Zealots enough time to deal with the fourth base, but there was already 3 Swarm Hosts in position to deal with it. Yeah,
and at this point, First going to try to use mobility against the Swarm Hosts here. The biggest weakness of Swarm Hosts, of course, is their immobility. And he's going to try to emphasize that again, because he's just popped out a Warp Prism, going to try to find a way in. And Life at this point just looking to stabilize across all these 4 bases, get that creep spread going. He cannot use his Swarm Hosts aggressively at this point.
Yeah, cannot be losing these Queens either. He needs them for creep spread at this point. The creep spread is so small that these Swarm Hosts are going to just take forever to get across the map and actually start doing damage. And, you know, First is keeping the momentum here. He's catching up in supply. He's making the tech he needs. All he needs is Colossi to deal with this so far, because we don't see really many Corruptors at the moment. We don't see any Vipers. And look at this, Zealots are getting into the natural now and actually doing drone damage.
Very good harassment, while Stalkers on the left-hand side of this map are trying to do some damage to this left-hand side too. Unfortunately, there's a few units here, but Zealots breaking on the right-hand side here. Good play from First, trying to wear his opponent down, but he also spending a lot of money to do so, and he's not gaining that much traction. I suppose he did bring down 10 drones there, which is pretty good. They will get replaced quite easily here by Life. Yeah, not too bad. And while this is all happening, goal base going up for First as well. He has complete map control while he maintains this aggression, this pressure onto Life. And then so long as he keeps stemming the creep from going forward any further, he has a lot of time before he really has to worry about it. I was about to say, he's working so very good on this creep. He's here with an Observer with these Stalkers, just blinking and jumping around everywhere he can go, and he's destroyed so much of this creep.
Now Infestors are out there, so he's got to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah. This is a perfect map for Swarmos once the Zerg establishes themselves and cut the map in half, which is exactly what Life's trying to achieve right now. But First doing a good job slowing him down. Yeah, he's doing a very good job so far. Life will obviously want to go for that goal base next and kind of try and really
cut this map in half. And whoa, we see a lot of Templars being warped in here and a lot of Archons being added. So it looks like we're going to see a bit more of a real dedicated push from First at this point.
This is pretty smart, though, considering the way that he's been splitting Life apart, and Life's got multiple units in multiple different areas, defending multiple different locations. A big bulldoze attack in one specific one could do quite a lot.
Yeah, I completely agree at this point. After he sees where Life's army, where the Swarm hosts have been planted, he knows he can actually just surprise bulldoze one area, and he has more than enough AoE to deal with a lot of Locusts.
There's a lot of Corruptors, though. These Colossus are not going to last too long. The Storms are going to have to be very good here from these High Templar, but up goes First. He's going to poke K, walks himself into 5 spines, but the units of Life very far out of position here, very far away by that gold base, and as we can see here, the Archon's just absolutely destroying and mowing down everything on this right-hand side.
Yeah, this is huge, absolute huge damage in the natural here. I actually think the natural will go down, if not the main. So many Corruptors, though, and finally the Locusts are coming, but they're getting stormed down. And more Stalkers being warped in at the same time. 3 Colossi is enough to help wipe out these Locusts.
Oh, the Locust and Swarm host very exposed here. He jumps forward, he picks off 3, 4, 5, 6 Swarm hosts here, and a lot of drones at the same time. These Archons cutting off the Corruptors at the back. The Locusts do deploy and will deal some damage here, but look at the supply. It's the 30 supply difference here in favor of the Protoss.
Yeah. First is looking so good. GG. First making a comeback here. He knew he had to win that game, and Life trying a different style. I definitely think this is one of Life's weaker sort of styles, going for that Swarm host play. And First, you know, he maintained that momentum. He knew he just had to keep splitting up the forces of Life until he had enough AoE to really just bulldoze through the Locusts and the static defense.
That was brilliant there by First. I didn't expect